Good morning. Still got some construction going on in the background here. That's fine. I just read Ezekiel chapter 4. And God's telling Ezekiel to do some things. This is before Israel falls to the Babylonians. First, he tells them to take some clay and make a tile. And on this tile, there's going to be some forts and some mounts and a camp and battering rams, and it's like a diorama of the city of Jerusalem. And it's going to harden, and it's going to look like a tiny city is under siege, and that is going to symbolize Jerusalem being under siege. It's a warning for all of Israel. I don't think they listened. And then he says, take an iron pan and put it like a wall between them. And that's also going to symbolize the besiegement. You know, they're going to be cut off. And they did. They were besieged. So that prophecy came true. And he tells them to lay on your left side in verse 4. And do it to the number of days that they're going to bear their iniquity. And so I think he says 399 days you do that, and that's for the iniquity of Israel. And it's going to bear their iniquity because they did that for a very long time. And then he says you're going to turn on your right side, and you're going to do that for 40 days, and that's going to be specifically for the iniquity of Judah. And these are all signs to Israel that they've been bad. They need to turn. Man, he gave them so many warning signs, and they never listened, not once. And then he tells them, you're going to make some bread with vegetables and grain, and it's kind of unusual, but the ingredients are ingredients you could only find during besiegement. You know, you'll be cut off from the land, so you can't have like dairy cows and chickens everywhere. Like, food is going to be scarce. And it's another symbol of the famine to come. And then lastly, God tells him to make his food out of using human dung as the fuel for the fire to make it. And Ezekiel asks him, Lord, please don't, please don't make me do that. And God, okay, you can use cow patties, which actually, I know the pioneers used to use cow patties because you'd be crossing the plains or whatever, there wouldn't be firewood. And so he tells him to do all this stuff, and it's going to symbolize what's happening. It's because of their iniquity. They're going to be besieged. They're going to go through famine. They're going to see death. They're going to be destroyed. And verse 17, he ends it all saying that they may want bread and water and be astonied one with another and consume away for their iniquity. The big lesson here is all this is happening because of their sinfulness, and it's just pointing to the destruction of sin in people's lives in the nation of Israel. So it's just a call to be aware of your own sin and get it out, and then the sin of your country, stand against it. When you go to the poll, vote to what you think would be less sinful. Stand against that sin, and if you're allowed to do something, doesn't mean you should do it. You can vote with your wallet. You can vote with your feet. You can move away from places that are sinful. It's bad. Sin is bad. Get away from it.